time of the year, we will have some that we need to table because we are doing everything we can to get employees in place for next year. So if we can't work through it, they will be tabled. So we have L31B, L32C, L33A, D, E, I, J, K, and L, and they are all marked on the agenda on your agendas with strike-throughs as well.
Do we have a motion to approve the agenda as adjusted? Mr. Hall makes the motion. Mrs. King will second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. And next we have the minutes from the regular meeting on May 11th. Do we have a motion for approval? Mrs. King makes the motion. Mr. Nelson will second. Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Do we have any delegations this evening?
We do not.
And next we will move to recognition, and we can start with student awards.
So I'm going to start this evening just by thanking all of you for joining us this evening, board members, staffs, families, and community members. It's an exciting night for us, and we are grateful to celebrate excellence, dedication, and heart that define Ritchie County Schools. Tonight is a special night for Ritchie County Schools as we celebrate the people who make our system strong, our employees, our students, and our retirees. We will recognize our State Employees of the Year, an employee for a local award, outstanding student achievements, and some students that are going to represent us at the state level this summer at some conferences and leadership meetings. We will also honor our retirees, who together share 158 years of service for Ritchie County Schools. And on your agenda, we're going to kind of flip something to give someone time to get here, but I've asked Mr. Clevenger to join me this evening as we share some information about our recipients. We will begin our presentation with our student awards.
All right, so as Mrs. Hunt said, we have some students here this evening that we would like to recognize. The first group that we would like to recognize are FFA members that competed in the state horse judging competition. This competition was held at both WVU Morgantown and the J.W. Ruby Equestrian Center in Reedsville, West Virginia. The contest tested students' knowledge and skills in equine science through horse evaluation, oral reasoning, team activities, equine ecology, which includes the anatomy, nutrition, breeds, and overall horse management. Ritchie County FFA Horse Evaluation Team placed first at the West Virginia FFA State Horse Evaluation Contest, and therefore has earned the opportunity to represent not only Ritchie County, but also the state of West Virginia at the 99th National FFA Convention Expo held this October in Indianapolis, Indiana. Mrs. Knopf, as their instructor, is here with them as well, so at this time we would like to recognize Mrs. Knopf and her students. Those students are Andrea Huffman, Taylor Krolick, Stella Robinson, and Jana Rutter, and we'd like to wish them good luck in nationals this fall. And also, Andrea Huffman was also named the contest's first place individual competitor overall. So if those individuals would come forward to be recognized at this time.
Just a second, we'll take this sign off. And we wish you guys luck. It sounds exciting that you get to go in October. So just because I'm curious, what do you do at these competitions? So if somebody want to share something you did? Go ahead. Who would like to speak? Oh, none of you. I failed. Come on, Andrew, you want to tell me something you did?
Well, first we did a pathology portion, which is basically, there's multiple parts of it, but a lot of it's basically a big science test on horses, and it's a day long. And then the second part is horse evaluation, so you go in and judge, I think we have 6 classes of horses, and then you present oral reasons to the judge, so you explain why you place the class that way. And they both go into the scores together, and that's how it's.
And you compete as a team?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, that's wonderful. Well, congratulations. It sounds like they're going to represent us well.
Yes, congratulations. Next, we would like to recognize an individual student who is attending both the Governor School of Entrepreneurship and West Virginia Boys State this summer. The Governor School of Entrepreneurship was established in 2016, and it was redesigned in 2026. The program focuses on real-world problem solving, the challenges of launching a startup, and students will collaborate with their peers, learn from industry experts, and use cutting-edge tools to design and pitch creative solutions. This will be held at Marshall University on Friday, July 17th through Sunday, July 26th. Additionally, Mountaineers Boys State is a leadership and citizenship program for high school juniors, which was established in 1936. Since that time, it has been held at its original location in Jacksonville, West Virginia, and will be held on June 7th through the 13th. Through hands-on simulations, elections, and career tracks from law enforcement and journalism to emergency services and business, participants gain a deeper understanding of civic duty, leadership, and teamwork. So at this time, we would like to recognize Justin Shen for those accomplishments.
And if you listen to those dates, Justin's going to spend a good part of his summer representing Ritchie County. He's going to go to 2 different leadership conferences as well as the entrepreneurship, and it sounds like an exciting time. So we wish you well. You'll have to let us know how it goes. Thank you.
All right. Next, we would like to recognize a student that is participating in the Hugh O'Brien Youth Leadership Program, also known as HOBie. Through this process, students explore and identify their unique leadership skills. Students learn to mobilize their unique traits and are exposed to leadership principles that they can explore and incorporate in a fashion that is true to their own personality. This leadership program is designed to prepare students to turn their ideas and goals into reality. This year's program will be held June 5th through 7th at Glenville State University. At this time, we would like to recognize Ritchie County's representative, Charlie Rader.
You looking forward to it? I think so. I think one of the things we find from that, it really helps develop a lot of leadership skills. And when I looked at the criteria and the things that they do, we appreciate you going to represent us. So thank you very much.
Our next student to be recognized is the student that participated in the West Virginia Story Map contest. This competition challenges students to create a story map using maps, images, videos, and text centered around the state of West Virginia. The story map must feature a geographic story which follows the theme of where history happened and why does it matter. Natalie Owens received first place in the state West Virginia Story Map competition in the high school division. Her project was titled Last Globes of the Century, West Virginia Marble Factories. The project required students to perform research and input it into a GIS, which means Geographic Information System, interactive map. And she was sponsored by her teacher, Samantha Lamb. Ritchie County High School award winner, and we're proud to recognize Ms. Natalie Owens. Mrs. Lamb as well.
Congratulations. You can come up and take a picture. No, you can't. We promise, we're, it's fine. Okay.
Congratulations.
One of the things about GIS that I've seen a lot of here lately is I actually have a couple people in my family that have gotten a degree in that, and it's a good direction to go, so it's good that Mrs. Lamp has given her kids that opportunity to understand that that's just another industry or something that you can study. So we appreciate the project they did, and we're glad that that went well. So we will now go to retirees. Okay? Yep. Just give me a second.
So at this time, we would like to recognize our retirees, which Ms. Todd said, bring to us several years of experience, and we're thankful for their time. First up, with 37 years of teaching experience, is Jennifer Price.
And so since I've been here as long as the school has been here, I will let you know that Mrs. Price and I taught across the hall in my first job, and she was my mentor. We've been together a long time.
I did a good job.
We've been together a few years.
Thanks.
How are you?
Good.
Good to see you.
All right. Next, with 24 years of teaching experience, Deborah Sheets.
So I need to let you know that the Sheets, Debbie and Rick were planning to come. The water that hit this afternoon hit their home and the area around their home, and they were unable to make it. So they gave me a phone call. They said to tell you all that they loved working for Ritchie County Schools, and I told them that I invited them back at the next meeting when there wasn't rain. And so we may go ahead and give theirs to them in June, but they wanted to let you know that they were sorry they couldn't get here.
Next, with 20 years of teaching experience, Rachel Tallhammer.
It was a pleasure working with you. And you'll join Jennifer. Yes.
All right. Next, as a classroom mate with 28 years of experience for Ritchie County, Pauletta Lafferty.
We go back a day or two. I think maybe I coached all of her boys. I think so, yes.
As Mrs. Hodd had said, unable to make it tonight, but with 20 years of experience as a bus operator, Richard Sheets as well. Next, with 7 years of experience with Ritchie County Schools, Frank Hall, mechanic. Next, with 4 years of experience with Ritchie County Schools, custodian Jimmy Keener. Teacher with 16 years of experience, Dan Vinoy.
I also received a phone call from Dan. He said, thank you for the invite. He is not one that likes to get up in front of people. He said he's sorry, but he does appreciate it and has enjoyed his years with Ritchie County Schools as well.
All right, yep. And next, with 4 years of experience with Ritchie County Schools, maintenance, Jerry Adams. Thank you for the office, Jerry.
He said thanks for the office. Before we move on, we're going to get a group photo, if that's okay. Just them.
Super high.
Erica.
Slow down. We'd like to understand one what you said. And next, we're going to move on to our state awards and our county recipients for these. One of the first ones that you will see listed is the Principal of the Year. We honor a principal, teacher, and service personnel of the year annually to represent Ritchie County School. However, this is especially significant as this marks the first year that the West Virginia Board of Education has recognized principals in that list of people and at the state level, making this recognition, I believe, even more important. I will let you know that what happens next with our representatives is that they compete at the state level with other counties. Everyone can send representatives, and so it goes through an application process. They're nominated through their schools, and it is a great honor to receive one of these. It shows that you're not only doing a great job for our school system, but we want to take the time to recognize you for that. So Mr. Clevenger will begin with some information about our recipients.
Okay. As was said, first we would like to recognize Principal of the Year. For that honor, we would like to recognize Casey Kearns, Principal of Smithville Elementary School, as the Ritchie County Principal of the Year. With 13 years as a principal and 18 years serving Ritchie County, Mrs. Kearns brings strong instructional leadership grounded in her experience as a reading specialist. She leads a student-centered school where data drives instruction and targeted supports ensure that all students' needs are met. Mrs. Kearns has built a positive, safe school culture with high expectations, strong communication, and meaningful community engagement. Her focus on students' academic, social-emotional, and physical needs has resulted in strong attendance and high academic achievement. Mrs. Kearns' leadership is respected, her impact is measurable, and she exemplifies the very best of school leadership. Ritchie County Schools is proud to recognize Casey Kearns, Principal of the Year.
And Jacob, say what you want to say. What's her chronic absenteeism?
0% chronic absenteeism.
Chronic
this year.
absenteeism, 0%. What did you say that? Casey, if you don't mind joining back there, we'll take a picture of it. Thank you.
Next, Ritchie County Schools would like to recognize Teacher of the Year. That honor goes to Sam Lamp, teacher at Ritchie County High School. With over 17 years as a teacher at Ritchie County High School, Sam is a strong, thoughtful teacher whose instruction is purposeful, engaging, and highly effective. She teaches a range of courses, including dual credit with WVUP, and brings creativity to her Travel West Virginia course, making learning relevant and meaningful for students. Understanding the limitations of a rural community, she intentionally provides students with real-world experiences across our state, expanding their opportunities, building confidence, and deepening their learning. Beyond the classroom, she is highly involved in the community, supporting student activities, serving as the Social Studies Department Chair, contributing on the school's leadership team, and remaining active throughout the community. Sam's impact is evident in her students, her school, and our community as a whole. Sam represents the very best of West Virginia education. Her professionalism, instructional strength, care for students, and commitment to her community and state make her a highly deserving honoree for Ritchie County Schools Teacher of the Year. We would like to recognize Sam Lamb.
Mr. Nelson always says to me that when we have guests here that they were his students. Just for the record, I'm 2 for 2.
I don't have any tonight.
I'm 2 for 2 tonight. They were all on.
All right, next Ritchie County Schools would like to recognize the Service Personnel of the Year. That honor goes to Bobby Watson, Head Custodian of Harrisville Elementary School. With more than 20 years of service in Ritchie County Schools, Bobby is an outstanding custodian who demonstrates professionalism, pride, and an exceptional work ethic. She consistently maintains a clean, safe, and welcoming environment, often going above and beyond her responsibilities without being asked to do so. As a head custodian, she is a reliable leader who communicates well, plans ahead, and ensures the building operates efficiently. As a graduate of Ritchie County Schools herself, Bobby brings a deep commitment to our students and takes pride in the role she plays in their daily experiences. Bobby's dedication, reliability, and positive impact make her highly deserving of this honor. Ritchie County Schools is proud to recognize Bobby Watson, Service Personnel of the Year.
Just for the record, I'm 3 for 3.
Should I include that in the article?
If you think your mother's old, I'm really old. Bobby, if you'll join in the back for a picture. Do this group first. And we'll do this.
Let me finish.
We're gonna go ahead and get that picture because those are the state winners, and then we'll do the last one. Still pretty good.
Alright, in Ritchie County Schools, we also have a local award that honors a bus operator annually. This is the Jeff Sheets Award. In honor of Jeff Sheets, we would like to recognize this year's recipient, Roy Griffith. Roy is a dedicated bus operator with approximately 10 years of service. He is dependable, kind, and consistently goes above and beyond his responsibilities. Roy maintains a clean and safe bus and adheres to all safety expectations. He builds strong, positive relationships with students, showing genuine care and concern for their daily well-being. His ability to connect with students creates a welcoming environment for them each day. Roy works well with others and takes pride in providing a safe, reliable transportation option for our students. We would like to recognize for the Jeff Sheets Award, Roy Griffith.
He's watching his granddaughter. I knew that. He's at the state softball tournament. His granddaughter plays for a team out here.
He did tell us that. All right. Well, I would like to finish up by thanking you all for coming this evening. Like I said, we have a lot of board members, or a lot of board meetings. Seems like we have a lot of board meetings. We have a lot of board meetings. We seem to have a lot. This one's my favorite because we get to see a lot of people and honor those that do represent us well and that we've had the pleasure of working with throughout the years. So we'd like to thank you again for coming and congratulate you on your awards and your next steps in life.
You are welcome to stay with us, or you may now use this moment to exit.
And we won't be offended.
Thank you, guys.
It's so good to see you. And I also want to thank you all. I brought all of the directors this evening because I thought it would show a sign of respect for our award winners. So I appreciate they all being here. Mrs. Basham was here. She was in that show. Yeah. Here she is.
All right, next we have the superintendent's report and academic updates.
So I just want to start out with a few things. I kind of written a few notes so I don't forget anything. I did attend a legislative update with Rolls-Royce, and I will, through the next few meetings, go over some of the impact that will have on us as far as policies and changes. But I will bring those slowly to you over the next couple of months. I just want to let you know that I have gone through, and I know that Dr. Jackson as well has attended one from Rolls-Royce as well. And will be a great support when we're trying to explain some of this stuff to legislation. I also want to take a moment to kind of recognize some outstanding efforts that we've had in our school system over the last few weeks. Mrs. McBrayer and the staff at Ritchie County High School did an excellent job with the class of 2026 graduation and the senior awards night. Both events were well organized and truly celebrated our students. It was especially encouraging to see how many students received local and college scholarships, local monies, as they prepare for their next steps. And I just wanted to give her a little recognition for a job well done. Being a first-year principal, that's tough to manage all that, and I remember that feeling, so she's probably, really went through well. Next, I would like to also congratulate Mrs. Walgeman and her staff at Ritchie County Middle School. I've had some comments today and a couple of calls today about how nice the 8th grade recognition was last night, how well organized it was. It was a meaningful evening honoring our students' accomplishments. Mr. Noe did an excellent job as the MC, made it very personable, but I'm gonna tell you, it was like a well-oiled machine. We were out there in 35 minutes, but we got to recognize lots of kids, and I was very impressed with the way that evening went as well. As you know, then I'm gonna move on to, we'd like to congratulate Coach Hott, Coach Williams, Coach Jared Scheib, and Coach Kress on an outstanding track season and finishing second in the state track meet this past weekend. A couple highlights from that meet that I would like to share is in a track meet, there are 18 events at a track meet. Our boys scored in 16 of the 18 events. And if you've ever been around track, that's really impressive. Senior Kellen Kress was the 3rd highest scorer at the meet in the state. He was 2.25 off of being high point at the state. So he had an excellent meet and performed at a very high level. One of the things that Coach Hott said was every group he took down there competed well or ran their best time. He couldn't have asked for more. And he has a lot of young athletes on his team, a lot of freshmen and sophomores, lots of freshmen and sophomores. And also, this is the 3rd time in 6 years that our boys have finished runner-up. So in Mr. Hott's career, he's got 5 first place and 6 second place finishes. So you know they're hard to come by because all of us know he's coached many years for that. So I just wanted to share that. I also wanted to share that our girls team finished in the top 10 and was very proud of them this weekend. We had some relays that went down there that were scheduled or like they were expected to be like 14th, and they finished 8th and got a medal, and they just had a great weekend as far as accomplishments. We will invite Natalie Hinger to a meeting. Natalie is our state champion, and they did a really neat thing. It was organized by Chris Wells. Natalie's father had won the same event, the discus, 25 years ago. So they announced that, and they let Mr. Hinger, her father, give her medal that day. And of all the things that happened there that weekend, that probably got the biggest applause. The kids were like really impressed with that she had, in the same school with the same uniform, had won the same event 25 years later. So I thought that was kind of a neat evening as well. Amazing, yes. So
Yeah.
I just wanted to share that information. Also, our girls softball team played today. We will play again this evening, and I'm afraid the game time will be late. I'm thinking about 9 o'clock maybe. And depending on how that goes, they could play again tomorrow. But we wanted to congratulate Mr. Mosser and Eric Burgess for a nice job with our girls softball team, and we wish them well. I want to go watch them tomorrow, so I'm cheering them hard today, so we can get down there. So that's my information for today.
Great. I think that when we attended the awards ceremony for the seniors, that the lady from the Parkersburg Area Community Foundation did say that Ritchie County receives the most funding of any of the counties in her area. So we should be pretty proud of that, because that's because local people have started scholarships, and that's pretty cool for us. And also legislatively, one of the big things that we get to talk about in the future, which Mrs. Hott will, I'm sure, study and be able to talk to us about in depth as time goes on,
makes an excellent point.
Any questions of Mrs. Hott? All right, next we have director reports, and we will start with Wendy Johnson, the Director of Operations and Management.
Hello, this one will be a little longer than last time, so it'll be a little longer than 10 seconds. So I wanted to come up this evening and give you all an update on some of the projects we're working on for Ritchie County Schools for the 25-26 school year. So thanks to Mr. Clevenger for the technology assistance. Oh,
Say that now.
No.
there we go. So one of the things we have opened up is our weight room, which you can see on this video, which I didn't want it to play quite yet, but I'll play it again. We had the opportunity to provide the students of Ritchie County High School with a tremendous new facility, new floor, new weights all the way around, and I can get it back to that one. Okay, now let's try it. Jacob.
You give me too much credit too early.
I did, didn't I?
One of the things that I asked Mrs. Johnson to do tonight is to go over some of the projects that you all have supported us in providing so that our students have an opportunity to compete and have some things that other schools around us. So we appreciate the support that you've given us to get these projects finished.
Hit present when we're ready to go.
Yeah, just click the next slide and hit present, because some of
Okay.
that video's really weird.
Okay, so Mr. Clevenger says it's the video that's messing up the slide, but we're good to go. So our weight room is now open. We provided training from Stray Dog, which is the company that we used to build our weight room from the ground up. We provided that training for our coaches and our teachers on May 7th of 2026, and it is being used by students. And yesterday we had over 20 students lifting, and there was 5 faculty members in there with them. So it is being used. My favorite part, this is ad-libbing, would be the new treadmill, which is self-propelled. It's one of the fancy ones. So if you like to run like I do, you can propel yourself, and it has the incline as well on it. So, but it has state of the art. The people who have seen it said it's one of the best in the state. So we've really given our students, our athletes, our student athletes, an opportunity to grow and get stronger. Okay, let me see if I can mess this up again. Okay. Okay. And then I've updated you several times on our transportation building. It is still in progress. Our anticipated completion date is June 30th, 2026, with our tentative ribbon cutting being July 6th. Move-in dates will be the month of July, and our students will be returning on August 13th. You can see some renderings of what the outside will look at. We're still talking about the signage on the end of the building, and then we just have an aerial photo of what it looks like.
And we have worked with them concerning the weather.
The weather.
Because we know that we were having some rain days. The last time they got behind on their timeline, they worked overtime and
Yes.
they worked on weekends. They are still hoping and planning to be done by June 30th.
Yes.
But it will take them putting in some extra hours to get to that because of the weather.
That ribbon cutting, is it prior to a board meeting?
Yes, it is.
So what time are we?
It hasn't been done. I just put it that night.
Probably 6-ish.
Yeah, 6-ish. Okay, so one of the other projects that was kind of snuck up on us was the partial HVAC replacement at Ritchie County High School and Middle School. In 2023, Mrs. Hott did a walkthrough, and they told us that these boilers are kind of on their last legs, and at some point would need to be replaced in, well, late spring, winter of this year. They needed one boiler quit completely, and then the other one was working inefficiently. So in March, a very nice man named Emmett Allen from the State Department came out and met with Brad Tonghammer and myself, and we did a walkthrough, and he gave us some recommendations and a report for the replacements, repairs that he and the State Department suggested that we do. So we began the process for replacement, and that's one of the items on the agenda for this evening that hopefully the board will approve, that we can get that construction started. And our time frame is May 28th to October 1st. One of our other projects is main toilet renovations. This project includes a full renovation of the high school commons area and the main men's and women's restrooms. The upgrades will transform the spaces into clean, modern, and attractive facilities. Given their location near the auditorium and gymnasium, the restrooms will be improved to a higher standard to accommodate visitors, providing a welcoming, durable, and well-maintained environment. I'm gonna kind of work backwards. Our construction and work dates are May 28th to August 10th. Again, it's on the board agenda, hopefully to be approved this evening, as we had that bid opening today. We get our projects mixed up.
Yeah, we've got too many.
And I worked backwards to let you know that there will be a minimal impact to school events as school's beginning on August 13th, and typically the estimated first volleyball scrimmages is the week of August 10th of where that would fall, but we're gonna have minimal interruptions to those activities with this project. We're excited about this. The next one is our ADA parking lot and sidewalks, which we would like to replace the existing patio and sidewalk at the back of Ritchie County High School with upgraded accessible surfaces, and we need to add some designated ADA event parking. Plans are being made to provide alternate entrances when this project when it comes to life. These plans will include public notification. This one is just going out for bid, and based on that bid amount, it will be on a later board meeting in June, and we expect it to start in June 22nd and be completed in October.
And what she means by alternative ways, we will meet with the fire marshal,
Yeah.
with the architect and our company to make sure that we still have the right amount of exits and all that kind of stuff. The way they think they can pour it is they can still give us entrance and exits out of certain parts of that building and do it in parts. The other thing that they told us was, like, depending on some of the ball games, especially volleyball, we may have to enter like through the middle school and the high school hallway and then have someone sitting in the middle. We may have to, and we'll make public announcements and make sure we send out if we have to alter how you enter the building until that project's finished. I think it's one that's needed. When the building was originally designed, the ADA compliant, that you were able to enter any door to go to a ball game. Multiple doors were open in 1993. Now one door's open. And so we need to look at, and under your direction, look at a way to make sure that we do have ADA compliance for people that come in the auditorium or to an event in that building. So I think that's a good project.
A good
And
project.
a needed project.
It is, it's a lot of folks are expressing frustration about the long walk right now, so it would be good for us to fix
And
this.
if you look at the picture on the left, you can see, like, you'll go in, like you're driving into the ag area, and then the ADA compliant parking will be on the left and the right of that, so it'll just
It's
kind of.
very good.
Thank you.
It'll be like
I didn't mess up my left and my right there either.
And Vanna showed you, just kidding.
As a left-handed person, that was big.
So, that also was one of the projects that was listed in our CFP, and so we are getting that finished.
We actually had to pre-bid for it today, and we had several people out and asking lots of questions. Okay, so projects 3 and 4, we'll start with number 3 is restrooms and locker rooms. Ritchie County Middle School and High School will have the student restrooms updated, as well as the high school athletic locker rooms. These are still in the design phase, and our projected construction and work will be June 1st through November 31st of this year. And then our auditorium project will be a complete remodel and upgrade with chairs, sound lighting, acoustic panels, and we project that to be January 4th through August 31st of 2027. So that's a little later project. But going back to the project 3, they're not going to take all of the restrooms out at once. They're going to do one and leave them open and cycle them through. Just wanted to.
So that is the one piece of construction that will take place during school. But we will always provide a restroom, whether it be upstairs or downstairs, that will be available for use. But we will shut some of them down as we are. They're not getting, they're getting remodeled and refurbished, they're not getting the upgrades.
Jason likened it to a facelift.
Yeah, they're getting a facelift.
Yes.
And I've been in that, like I said, I started in 1993, I was in that building as a teacher, and I know that those restrooms haven't. They still have the same dividers and, flooring, and so some pieces of them have been redone, but never have they just all been fixed. And I think that putting that in the CFP was a good idea, because I think those need done. And then the auditorium, we've worked with the music, because these are questions you'll get. We've worked with the music teacher as well as the drama
Yes.
teacher to let them know what we would like to do is we've already actually started meeting with the sound people and the engineers, but we won't actually start that project until after Christmas next year, so that all the elementaries can have their Christmas program. You can have the winter band concert, you can have the winter or the fall play, and then we'll begin it in January. And so that second semester, it will be shut down for the renovations, because they said it would take them a semester and a summer to get it done, because it's a big job. And however, we're starting now with it because to get some of the supplies ordered, because there is a time lapse in getting some of the supplies here, and they're very much aware of that. So we just wanted to let you know that based on what we looked at through our CFP projects that will improve the middle school and the high school, these are the ones that we are moving forward. You'll see a couple of them this evening.
And then finally, just some additional projects that we have. Some of them have been completed. The fence at the football field and baseball fields have been completed. We put some slats in there to help with the crosswind. We have a drain at the football field we're going to take a look at. The parking lot here at the board office after the garage opens. The bus garage opens, some high school band storage, some acoustic cabinets in there. We talked to Mr. Flesher and about some storage. A greenhouse replacement or an upgrade. High school gym storage for sound and camera equipment. We took out the big cabinet and we're gonna replace it with some new storage. And then a sound system
Technology
and software.
storage.
Technology
The
storage.
technology should be stored.
Yes, it would be a little safer and
Yes.
more conducive to.
And mobile.
Yes. And then the sound system at our softball field. So, any questions?
Very exciting.
It is
We're
exciting.
excited. Yeah.
We're a little busy. We're learning so much.
Send that to our email.
Mr. Clevenger, absolutely.
Thank you. Great, thank you. And next we have Jacob Clevenger, our Chief Instructional Leader, and our tech support tonight. And our MC for awards.
Let's bring multiple hats.
Jack of all trades, master of none. Alright, so, we're going to speak about a few things this evening. The first thing that I'm going to speak about is our preschool enrollment. As you guys know, recently we held our preschool registration day. We had that on May 1st. Very well ran this year. We typically do 3 days. We were able to do it in 1 day. Very efficient, very organized. However, as a result of that, when we started getting some of the numbers in, the numbers of our preschool registration were not what we normally have. Not necessarily something we didn't expect, but not what we normally have. So if the sheet that you have in
And
front of you.
some of it was not what we expected.
Yeah, some of it was and some wasn't. So, and the blue chart that you have in front of you, I've just kind of presented them up here so you can see them a little bit easier. The first chart, just to kind of give you some reference for what we're going to talk about, is the total population of Ritchie County over the course of the past 10 years. So as you can see, in 2014, we had around 10,000 residents in Ritchie County. The most recent data out on that would be 2023, and that number is down to 8,167. So around almost a 2,000 person population drop over that period of time. Mainly due to the fact that Ritchie County had an older Asian community, as well as some COVID and things like that as well. The next chart that you will have on there, on the bottom of that, is titled Preschool Eligible Students per Enrollment Year. So this isn't necessarily the amount of students born in a year or anything like that. What it is July 1 is our cutoff date. So, for example, in 2018, those would be kids born between July 1 of 2017 and July 1 of 2018. So each one of those is a July 1 to July 1. Kind of looked at some data from the Office of Vital Statistics to see.
Not born that year, but I thought that was the year that they were.
They were born and eligible to attend
Yeah,
then,
they
right?
were, they
Yeah.
were born
Sorry.
in they were born in 2018.
Yeah.
They would have been eligible.
They were 4 years old in
They're
2018.
4 years old.
They're born in 2014.
Yeah,
right?
they're of
Yeah.
age to go to school.
So, and that's why on the chart previously it was 2014 because those are the same kids population-wise that are coming in. So, the 4-year-olds that turned 4 between July 1 of 2017 and July 1 of 2018, we had 112 students during that time. And you can see, with the exception of 1 year, which was the year of 2022, that's kind of steadily kind of trickled down a little bit.
That's just a result of 2020.
Yeah. So, and we kind of have some back and forth on that. So now kind of what we're seeing, the 2026 year is our current enrollment, and then this would be next year's enrollment. So currently, you see last year we had 80, this year we have 73, next year 69 students, which is almost half of what we had during that 2018 enrollment year. So as a result of that, we've seen lower numbers across the county this year in our preschool classrooms. Smithville Elementary right now, we have 1 student that lives within the district that is eligible for preschool. And that's not, we have called DHHR, we've had meetings with Head Start, with Birth to 3, with anyone that we can possibly meet with. And it's not necessarily that we're not getting kids, the kids really aren't there to get. Also important to note that this 73 number is also those kids were born into families that lived in Ritchie County at that time, but it does not necessarily mean that they still reside in Ritchie County, right? So as that population continues to trickle, those families continue to move, that number continues to shrink as well. So you can kind of see what that looks like, and then next year kind of the same situation as this year as well. So we just kind of want to provide that information, give a little bit of insight. Like I said, Smithville Elementary right now has 1 student within the attendance zone that is registered for preschool. And then even at Harrisville and Creek Collins, our classrooms are somewhere between 10 to 12 to 13 students per classroom. We will get a few 3-year-olds trickle in throughout the school year. Last year we had 10 of those throughout the course of the school year. So even with those 10 kids added onto that, those numbers are still very, very small. So just kind of wanted to provide that information so you guys had a little bit of more knowledge about that situation. Questions about that specifically?
Well, I'm assuming that means we have to make a change at Smithville this year?
Yeah. Are you letting me just?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. So right now, as it stands, unless kids magically appear, there would be no need for a preschool classroom at Smithville Elementary. However, the Smithville Elementary preschool teacher took the PE jump, so there's not currently a Smithville Elementary PE teacher. So preschool teacher, yeah. So
So it's an open position that.
And
would not be filled at this point.
And on tonight's agenda, the aide that was in that room also has resigned, so there are not any employees in that classroom.
Right.
at this
So it's
time.
not costing anyone a job right now. It's just not a need that would be filled for 1 student, right? We can, and that student lives within a reasonable distance to Harrisville Elementary School. Not like it's a far drive. It's a very short transportation. So that would be the solution to that right now.
But that's a solution for 1 year.
Right.
So we would be
Yes.
in this to say that it's not something that we have to discuss in the future to see what happens as that
Well, because-
class rolls through.
Yeah, and then we've had that conversation as well as that matriculates. And now there are sometimes situations where kids preschool's not a requirement, right? So there could be kids that come
So
later
we would
on.
wait to see kindergarten numbers.
Yeah, but right now, it would seem like that would be a low enrollment as well.
And I guess
Right.
that's one of the reasons we looked at these numbers, is we were thinking, okay, hopefully we'll have a year where it's just up again, but it is not.
Right.
And so, an example, right now, middle school, the 8th graders, on the high school, there were 68 of them. The high school kids graduating, there were about 68, 69 of them. So, but you lose enrollment when you're only starting next year with 69.
It never goes up.
It never goes up.
Yeah.
So if you start with 69, by the time they get to high school, your enrollment numbers will be less than that. So there is a trend that the numbers are still going down.
Right, and what's the average per grade that we end up not having in public schools that choose other options of alternative education? Is there any average?
I would have to look and see on that. I do know with things like the Hope Scholarship, with homeschool, taking more prevalence across the state, we do have, it's not a large portion or percentage of students, but significant to where it would impact the classroom size or something of that nature, for sure.
And we can get you that number
Yeah.
moving forward with this.
And with this information now, it's a little bit easier to pull that, because we can look and see the percentage of kids that were available and the percentage of kids we actually got.
So
we can look
I
into that.
guess one thing we'll have to consider next year, just as we prepare for decisions that we'll have to make as a board, is the personnel season happens before the kindergarten registration.
Yes.
Right.
And so we will probably.
And we can bump that up if we need to.
Yeah, we'll probably have to bump preschool registration back,
Kindergarten.
or kindergarten, either one. We could bump both back for that matter.
Right, I just,
As long as you do it.
trying to think ahead,
You're right.
we're gonna have to make a decision next year that's a little more impactful than this year.
Right.
Now, one of the legislative changes this year that we will look at as we move forward, and it's in the last part of the legislative change, it deals with if you don't know by a certain date that you're gonna have an issue like this, like we didn't know. And so, let's say that those teachers in that age were still sitting there, and if they have nothing to do, there's no kids to teach, then you are allowed to transfer them.
Can't transfer now,
The
good.
legislation has given us that right. You have to show that you have a need for them somewhere else, but they can be moved. And so that's one of the, but we're not gonna be faced with that this year. But like you said, if
Could be
we
in the
don't
future.
start looking at these numbers prior to personnel season, we may be in that same situation again.
And I would like to point out too, the one spike in this, which is the 106, these are our current 5th grade students, which we have 91 in that class right now, which is by far our largest class. I think behind that it's 81 or 82, the next largest. So this one spike, that we had 106 eligible students that year, we have 91 of those students currently. So that number is never going to be
Right, it's gonna be.
higher than that number, right? So when you see the 69 number in comparison to the 106, you're
Right, alternative education and not continuing to live in the county are two of those reasons that we
Right.
also need to be realistic in those numbers.
employment opportunities, things that like we're not gaining families, right? Just throughout the community. So that's something we're aware of, and we reach every resource we can to pull the kids that we can pull. I mean, we have lists of kids, and a lot of them have siblings or things of that nature, and we reach out and contact. But when you see that 69 number in comparison to some of the others, or the 73 number, there aren't necessarily families to contact, right?
Do you know if the county still has private preschool opportunities?
No, there is not private. St. Luke's, which was the one private option in the county, no longer exists, so no, there's not.
I was just curious.
What we have seen is an influx of students who are in kindergarten and receive the Hope Scholarship or go to homeschool. So if those families now know that opportunity is available, they may not enroll their child in preschool because they're going to pull them back out in kindergarten anyway. So we have seen an influx of those kindergarten kids receiving Hope Scholarship through homeschool opportunities, individualized plans, as they call it, through that process. That is something we've seen an uptick in, I would say. That's right. So.
All right, thank you very much. Any
Yep.
other questions? I'm sorry, I asked a lot there.
I'm a little bit more positive news now.
Well, I was gonna say, we need people in Ritchie County to have more children.
I
It's a
actually
problem.
thought about that when we were at graduation and you heard so many babies crying. I'm like, it's okay.
Yeah, they may be coming. There were several there. I heard them. That is true. There were several
That is
there.
our business.
In the training we had, I think it was in February, we talked about this, it's in every county, it's not
It is,
just us.
right, they had the projections for
Some
attendance.
counties are much worse. It may be nationwide, I think people just don't have as many children. It's just not as big a thing as it was 20, 30 years ago, you know?
Children are very expensive.
Yes, they are.
They are.
All right, so next I would like to go over our final attendance report. This information kind of is somewhat final or very close to final, with a few tweaks that may come in as the final couple of days roll in. So, as you can see, we finished the year with a 12.02 chronic absenteeism rate.
You should get applause.
Yes, thank you. Very, very exciting. Smithville Elementary, of course, was 0%, which Mrs. Kearns was here and congratulated on. Creek-Collins with an 8.2% chronic absenteeism rate. Harrisville with 12.5. The middle school with 13.6 and high school with 15.4, which for the middle school and high school are both very, very impressive numbers for middle schools and high schools. Overall, regular attendance rate, we were at 58%, so those are the kids that have missed 10 or fewer days. So nearly 60% of our kids missed 10 or fewer days throughout the school year, which is a really big deal as well. That's something that we're trying to continue to climb. Smithville finished with an 83% rate in that as well, which definitely is a credit to some of the success that they've had because the kids are in school and getting what they need. Overall, our goal was 95% attendance for the overall students in school every day. We got to 94.27, but that's up from in the 93 range a couple of years ago, and that's a very hard one to raise. If you flip on the back of the sheet that has that on it, then there is a chart and kind of shows the past few years, which has the #1 attendance rate in the state average attendance rate, and then our attendance rate over that time period. And I think I can scroll down here so you can see it. The colors changed on my screen, but the chart is the same.
So we mirror the state best right now.
Yes. So you can kind of see the state best for a few years is kind of stuck at 12. No one can get below 12. It's just kind of bobbled there for a while. In that meantime, while that state best was maintaining at 12, we've gone from 22 to 19 to 16 to 12. So we're right there with that mark right now. And then again, with the state average and that average just barely trickling down 6%, we've made a 10% growth during that, or decrease during that time, I should say. This is a chart where you want to see it go down, not up. So we were super, super excited about that. A lot of hard work from our schools and all the people involved with that. And hopefully get to 10% next year.
And commitment from parents.
Yeah.
They're getting into school, and we appreciate it, because it
Yeah.
makes a difference.
Particularly with our elementary schools, that how they start their attendance is usually how they finish it, right? So if we can get them in kindergarten, first grade to understand the importance of attendance, then that usually follows them throughout their academic career. So very excited about that, and congratulations to all those that had a part in that. And then the final update would be on the Third Grade Success Act. You do not have a handout with that, but there is a policy up for reading tonight in regards to the Third Grade Success Act. I know I've talked about that before. The main things for you guys and the questions that you'll receive, and that is about the retention of third grade students. The retention of third grade students happens when they meet or do not meet standard on the summative assessment at the end of the school year. However, there are several exclusions to that, or whether they may be in special education or receiving interventions, or if they've been retained previously. So you will see that policy in there, and there's a lot of information that will pertain to us, and a lot of it that we've been doing already because we know it's good for kids. So not a whole lot of information on that, but you may see people that have questions about that throughout the community, and we will be happy to answer any of those that you may have.
So Mr. Clevenger, in that, we are putting it out for reading, and we will the next time, and can you explain why? Because most of that mirrors the state's expectations. We don't have options, but there are things in it that are specific to our county. And can you explain what that is?
Yeah, so as Mrs. Potts said, we have very little flexibility in that policy. The one thing that we do have flexibility on are the type of screeners that we use. So where we use DIBELS assessments for literacy screening, someone else may use something different. So the policy is tailored to us in that sense, but as far as the bones of it about retention and the types of interventions that have to be required and the documentation that is required, that is all provided by the state.
And the exceptions.
Yeah, and the exceptions, we don't make the exceptions. They are set in stone by the state. So the only thing that we have any flexibility on that at all are the screeners, which we've had in place already. But that is the reason why it's going through a reading and not just a straight approval. Okay. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Any further questions for Mr. Clevenger? All right, next is the consent agenda.
Under the consent agenda, we have some that you see annually. One is the 4-H. Ritchie County 4-H likes to use our buses to transport students to different locations, pools and parks in the summer. Those dates are listed. I also added this year rain dates if needed, because last year we had to rerun it later because it rained and they had to change it. So I went ahead and added that, so you know that right now they're planning to use our bus the 23rd and the 25th, but it could be different dates than that. But I'd like you to approve it so that they can use it those two times. the marching band will hold an off-campus band camp. I was so excited when I went to, the band performances and the excitement in Mr. Flesher's voice when he says how many band students he has is exciting. He's gonna have this one off campus, but he's also having like a small one on campus for some of the young kids, so that's nice to hear. The fair board, needs to use our bus again for the transportation, to shuttle shuttle folks in and out from the 4-H campgrounds during the, Ritchie County Fair. I ask that you approve retroactive a memorandum of understanding. Mr. Clevenger and I have been working with the West Virginia Department of Ed for high school. We would like to go into an agreement with them to, it'll offer our high school administration and some staff members some additional training. It's a 3-year program, and it's like $30,000 a year, is that correct?
30,000 total, so 10,000 per year.
Per year, which allows us to do some extra things and do some curriculum additions at the high school. We then had our softball and baseball team have to travel out of state once they got into tournaments, so I ask that you approve those. And then, Mrs. Johnson has got the agreement on here for the Smithville wastewater treatment plant, and also, the purchasing group that we work with. Those are both, just annual things that we put back on there because they're contracts 1 year at a time. And I ask that you approve those consent items as listed on the agenda.
Thank you. Superintendent is recommending that we approve the consent agenda. Do we have a motion for approval? Mr. Hall makes the motion, Mrs. King will second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. And next we have policies.
We have 3 policies, and they're all here just a little bit different. We are asking you to approve policy 2040. It has gone through all the readings. For the purchasing card, we had no comments on it, so it will go through as we presented it with the changes marked on it. We also have reviewed policy 5180, personal leave incentive program. It does not have any changes in it. It just needs to, we showed you one time, every 4 years we look at them and we go, are they still valid? This one's still valid. We don't need to make any changes on it. And then we ask that the one Mr. Clevenger just went over, the 4,300 third grade success act retention policy to be placed on comment period for the first comment period. And that's all.
Okay. The superintendent is recommending that we put 3 policies, that are on the agenda for comment or for approval. Do we have a motion to that effect? Mr. Nelson makes the motion, Mr. Hall will second. Is there any discussion? Not all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next, we have resignations.
We have 3 resignations. Michael Satterfield is assistant football coach at the middle school. Adam Davis is a math teacher at the middle school, and Lindsay Foster is an English teacher at the middle school. Michael Satterfield's would be effective immediately. Adam and Lindsay will both finish the school year. I ask that you approve those resignations.
Do you have a motion for approval? Mr. Hall makes the motion. Mrs. Keane will second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. And next we have resignations submitted after publication of the agenda.
Resignations after publication, Ashley Eckert as the ECAP preschool aide at Smithville, effective at the end of the school year, and Ellen Butcher for the purpose of retirement, math teacher at Ritchie County Middle School. I ask that you approve those 2 resignations after publication.
Do we have a motion for approval? Mrs. King makes the motion. Mr. Nelson will second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. And next we have employments. We'll start with summer 2026.
So we will work through this. Summer 26, I ask that you approve Madison Clevenger as one of the summer literacy tutors. Sarah Ridgway, we needed an additional aide at the outdoor rec camp. Then if you look at school year 2026, we ask that you approve J.C. Collins as the head volleyball coach at Ritchie County Middle School. We approved her at the last meeting as a teacher at the middle school. And then we ask that you approve Lucas Hinger as the assistant volleyball coach at Ritchie County High School. Then we go to school year 2027. And I'm asking that you approve Melissa Emerson as the principal at Harrisville Elementary School, Chaselyn Jones was our clinical teacher of record. She is now a certified teacher, and we'd like to hire her as the multi-subject teacher in 5-6. Dana Dalton as our elementary literacy academic coach at Creek Collins. Sarah Ridgway as a substitute teacher. Olivia McCroskey as a restricted sub. And that's all. I ask that you approve all of those employment recommendations as listed on the agenda.
Do we have a motion for approval? Mr. Nelson makes the motion. And Mr. Hall a second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. The next we will move down to payment of the bills in the amount of $272,102.81. Do we have a motion for approval? Mrs. King makes the motion. Mr. Hall will second. Is there any discussion? Lori's here. You may ask any questions.
She's here for supplements and transfers too.
All right, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion passes. And next we have financial requests.
Well, the first two are supplements and transfers, and I said, and Mrs. Wells is sitting right there. Cause I always fumble through these. The transfers, you wanna take over, you wanna do it? Does she have name?
We'll bring you a mic.
Oh.
She'll do a much better job.
Thanks. So the transfers I have are, just trying year end to clean up some things. So, the first one is 216, it is for FY 25 Title I, is to adjust the indirect cost and the supplies for 2001-39. The next one is for FY 25 Federal Special Ed for salaries, supplies, and travel, and that's $51,040. The next one moves on to FY 26, which is state special ed, and that was for travel and salaries for $773. The next one is FY 25 CIS grant award, and it was for student expenditures of $1,200. The next one is step 7, and it is for technology supplies and software for 2006-38. Step 7B is the next one for $7,800. That is for technology supplies as well. Moving on to 225, this one is to transfer in our levy for safety and security training, and this also includes estimates for projects. So what I've done is, I'm going to try to explain this. So there's a program function that is 14611, and there's 14711. One is for site improvements, one is for building improvements. So depending on where I budgeted, thinking we would need it, it had to be moved to 14611 or 14711. And I also added a cost center on the end so that it's easier for me to run reports to know that this belongs to the HVAC one, this belongs to the ADA one, so it's easier to manage the funds.
The many projects.
So it may look like a large amount, but it's just moving it from one line item to the other to help me differentiate in the projects. So the 225, this one is for the auditorium and the ADA parking, and it is $1,280,614. And then the next one for 227 is capital improvements, that's Fund 51, and that is for the partial HVAC replacement and the main toilet renovations for $2,315,142. And those are the total for the transfers. And then moving on to the supplements, FY 26, we had a Title I adjustment for the grant award. We got an increase of $8,764. FY 26 fresh fruits and vegetables, that's for salaries and food, $6,454. FY 26, we got a it's called a scratch training grant. It's where our cooks can go for training to learn to make foods from scratch and for supplies, and that's $3,000. And then we had an FY 26 boot camp, that is for our special ed teachers, for stipends and supplies for $3,300. Any questions?
All right, well, thank you for a very thorough explanation.
Also, under financial requests, after the supplements and transfers, Number 3 is to approve the Daughtery Company out of Charleston, West Virginia. They were the sealed bid winners for the HVAC replacement at the high school, and the amount is listed. We also have, how do I say that? Veritas, which is a contracting LLC out of Fairmont. They won the sealed bid awards for the main bathroom renovations at the middle school, high school. The amount is listed as well. And all of these are pending that they meet certain deadlines. They have 24 hours to get certain paperwork back to us, and they have 72 hours from the exact time the meeting ends to get us the next set of paperwork. If they meet those deadlines, then we would like to approve and go with those 2 companies. We ask that you approve the Young Group to provide optional medical coverage for our student athletes. And then we have been working on a project for a couple of years to finish, and this will finish classroom furniture at the middle school and high school. We ask that you approve the purchase of middle school classroom furniture and approve high school classroom furniture, and we're going to use the Omnia Purchasing Group in order to buy these. The amount is listed on the agenda as well. Approve the declaration. We need to sell 2 buses. The 2 buses are listed. We would like to make them surplus. The buses are listed 1404 and 1121, and their mileage also stated on the agenda. And then the last one is we would like to be allowed to purchase in our budget. We put that we want to buy a bus, but we also have money from the state after July 1 to purchase a bus. So you will see this is effective after July 1, but we wanted to go ahead and get the quotes and get them ready because you know the time turnaround to get a bus is long. Except for we're going to get one a little quicker than we thought. Matheny's had some other county had ordered a bus, and they have chosen not to get it. So Matheny's offered it to us if we were going to purchase one next year. And so that turnaround for that bus will be quite fast. It's a brand new one. It just kind of benefited both of us, and we've worked so well with them. They were good to offer that to us. And so we will get one of this bus, I believe it is, a little bit faster than we normally do. So we went ahead and asked that we could purchase that bus effective July 1. There is quite a bit in finance, so if you have any questions, I would like to ask you to approve those 10 items as listed on the agenda.
All right, the superintendent is recommending that we approve the finance items as stipulated on the record. Do we have a motion for approval? Mr. Hall makes the motion. Mrs. King will second. Any questions? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Do we have any requests for agenda items for the next board meeting? I know our next board meeting is June 8th. Do we have one out here? Okay, on the June 22nd agenda, since he's not here tonight, can we make sure to put something on there to Ryan so that we recognize him on that agenda? Certificate, all the things that we can.
And if it's okay, with
You said cake.
She said cake.
And if it's okay with you guys on that agenda, which is the one we did last year, that's when we did my evaluation, and we also did your board self-reflection on that.
Right, it is good to do that before we have a new board member joining us.
So is it okay if we do both?
Yes, please go ahead and put this on that agenda. I just wanted to make sure that we included Ryan.
Absolutely.
And recognizing his, how many years have you all served now? 8 years of service to the board.
You will be missed.
You will be. Any board member committee reports? All right, our next meeting will be held June 8th at